this body, the majority party in this body, failed to enshrine a woman's right to a safe abortion and to make decisions about her body, this body failed to enshrine that in the Virginia Constitution. This body, the majority party in this body, is out of step and out of line with more than 80% of Virginians who believe that women should decide what happens to their bodies. And I listen to men mansplain and give all of these reasons why this amendment is necessary. And it reminded me of something that was said more than 50 years ago. No matter what men think, abortion is a fact of life. Women have always had them. They always have, and they always will. Are they going to have good ones or bad ones? Will the good ones be reserved for the rich while the poor women go to quacks? And that's Congresswoman Shirley Chisholm more than 50 years ago. And today, in 2022, I had to rise in this body to reiterate what the Congresswoman said, because our country is looking at taking a giant step back on the progress we've made to support women's health and rewind the hand of advancement made by women and men in ensuring that a woman has the right to determine the functions of her own body. I rise today as a mother of 2 daughters, 2 brilliant, beautiful, magical Black girls who are facing a world where women like them are 3 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related circumstances than their peers. My daughters are facing a world where the governor's own health director is doing everything he can to ignore racial health disparities, going as far as blaming a genetic disorder, sickle cell anemia, for maternal health disparities. And now, Mr. Speaker, my daughters will face an America where they have less access to reproductive health options than their mother. My daughters are facing an America without choice. And I know that some of y'all only understand choice when it comes to a gun or defunding our public schools. But let me just say, when a woman has the right to determine what happens with her body, it not only impacts her, it impacts her community. You want to know how I know? Because I rise today as part of the first generation of women in my family to have a choice on the timing of my life. Unlike my grandmother, who was forced at 13 years old to bear the child of her abuser. She didn't have a choice, and she lived with that for many years and the rest of her life. But I got to decide when I took on the awesome responsibility of motherhood. Those are choices that I had, and my generation of women benefited. But today, with this amendment, as the Supreme Court moves forward, we are making a dangerous, dangerous decision. And maybe, as the delegate says, some people of faith support this, but I'm here to tell you that not all of us do. And what the governor doesn't get is that the daughters of rich business tycoons are not the only ones who should have access to safe reproductive health. So to target women who need help from us and who are making tremendously difficult decisions is wrong and is unconscionable. And this is not about funding. This is about making a political statement and delivering on a promise to a few. Abortion is essential health care. Studies have shown over and over that bans will worsen America's existing maternal mortality crisis, and legislation like this will exacerbate astounding racial gaps in infant and maternal health outcomes. So clearly for the governor and many of you, This is about just one thing: restricting our fundamental bodily autonomy for political gain. Now, we can't change the Supreme Court's decision, but we can make sure Virginia stays a safe space for a safe, accessible abortion in the South. So let me put you on notice. This amendment targeting low-income Virginians will not be forgotten. This amendment targeting families already making extremely difficult medical choices will be a part of your legacy. The governor doesn't get it. Maybe you don't either. But I want you to take note that we will fight this. We will defend bodily autonomy and reproductive freedom for all, the daughters and wives of rich tycoons, and the young women in communities like mine who need support. So when you go back to your community and defend how you attack poor people and the people who need you the most, remember this: you will come back and face a resistance. We will fight this every single day, and we will not back down, bow down, or shut up while you endanger the lives of women. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.